Hi friends, welcome to another art video. Today I'm going to show you how to get started at selling at your local market. Markets are great if you're an online seller looking to branch out and start selling in person. Markets are a great opportunity for you to connect with the local community and even connect with the vendors who can give you additional tips on how to sell, where to sell, and generally just network. In this video, I'm going to help you find markets as well as what to bring to those markets. The most important thing is looking for local markets that give off the same vibe as your shop. So if you're a stationery shop like what I have on Etsy, I wouldn't want to be looking at local farmers markets where people would go to buy their produce. I'd look for very specific craft markets that cater to people who are looking to buy local art or local handmade items. Market fees vary from event to event. Sometimes they can be as low as $10, sometimes over $100. This generally is due to the popularity of the event, if there's a lot of foot traffic, just because you pay for an application fee that is a little bit higher up doesn't mean you'll always make back that money. So it's good to just do a little bit of research ahead of time, kind of weigh out your options. If you're just starting out, I definitely recommend going with a market that has a lower application fee. That way you don't feel like you're too busy throwing too much money at an event that may not yield back as much income. Keep in mind, application fees are usually non-refundable, whether it's a rain or shine event. So it's just good to keep that in mind as you're going through the application process. My favorite way to search for local market events is going through social media. And to me, that usually just means Instagram. I would just look up Orlando markets in the search bar and kind of see who's tagged in what post. Usually local market organizers will have their own Instagram page that highlight future/ongoing events. So it's good to just kind of click through photos, kind of keep a mental tab of what seems really interesting that you'd want to vend at eventually, and where those places could be in the grand scheme of your area. Facebook is also a great place to look for actual events because they have that whole entire event tab page. So you could just look up art market in the search bar, kind of look through the events page and see what pops up, what's coming up, and who or what market is posting that event. And you can always go and like them. Usually when you like them on Facebook, they'll show up on your feed whenever an event is posted, so that's great. And kind of just, usually I go into a snowball like, oh, there's this market, there's this market. More markets will keep getting pushed to your algorithm thing. It also helps following other vendors that sell similar products such as yourself. They'll often share other events that they're going to market at, so that presents more opportunities for you, especially if you guys sell in the same city. Make a list of all the markets that you find. You may not be able to apply to them all at once, which I do not recommend, but you'll be thankful that you saved them for later. Once you find a market that's a great fit for your shop, it's time to apply. Most markets tend to ask the same questions, and here are a few of the ones that I see most often. Do you need a table or tent space? Do you require electricity? What is your Instagram handle or social media handle? What products do you make? Is it handmade? Is it resale? A lot of these questions is really just about getting to know you as a vendor. Usually, a table space will cost less than a tent space. A space without electricity will cost less than a space with electricity. Just know that usually electricity spaces are first come, first served basis and do cost quite a bit more. So just now is a good time to evaluate whether you really do need electricity or if you can just rely on having charged phone/tablets or having a portable charger on hand. After you put in the application comes the jury process. Here are some tips that will help you get selected for selling at a market. This is where a professional looking feed or catalog will definitely help. And don't worry if you don't have a lot of followers, event coordinators are looking at the products themselves. So as long as you have really nice pictures displaying the products nice and clearly, I think you'll be fine. Congratulations, you've just been accepted into your first market. Now here comes the fun and kind of stressful part of the entire process, getting everything together. Let's run through some of the essentials. Number 1, your products. And I know that seems very obvious, but trust me when I tell you it's super duper very helpful to do a full-on inventory count of everything that you're going to sell. I also think it's very important to have at least one sign with your business name and maybe even pricing. This way you can reference it as people will ask, how much does this cost? And, oh, what's your business name? It's also helpful to have some business cards free out there for the taking on the table. The next big thing is storage, and essentially just getting big containers to put all of your products in to take to the market events. You'll also need table or tables, chair or chairs, and maybe even a tent. You're doing an outdoor event, a tent is definitely a must-have, especially in Florida heat. You want to make sure that you're partially shaded and you don't want your products to get sun kissed. And you also want to make sure that if you do bring a tent, that you bring weights to weigh down your tent, because you don't want to be that person that has the tent that's flying across the market event. Super duper important. You're definitely going to want to bring some cash, a cash box to store the cash in, as well as a payment reader such as Square. If you're bringing a Square reader, definitely don't forget to bring either a phone or a tablet to use the Square reader. And definitely make sure that if you're using the Square reader that you have either data on your phone or Wi-Fi to connect to the Square reader. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with just using cash. I personally recommend getting a Square reader with a tap. Throughout the times that I've been doing at markets, a lot of people were asking if they could use Apple Pay, which honestly, what a great way to pay, and who wants to swipe anyway or even insert the card? So I actually bought this off of the Square website. This is actually my electronics bag where I keep all my chargers and portable chargers and extra stuff in there, but I just got this tap Square reader. You can tap it or you can even insert it. And what I like about this guy is that you could just set it on the table and people could just, without having to give you their card or be anywhere near you, they could just like literally tap it with their phone or with their card. For the cash, you'll definitely want to make sure that you bring a lot of bills. Usually I'll just take out $100 and I'll do 20 $1 bills and maybe like 15 $5 bills. And if I have some extra coins lying around, I'll just quickly grab them and put them in my cash box, because you never know when someone's going to pay with coins. Or, you know, sometimes I'll even have, and my stickers are like $2.50. Sometimes I need to break $1 in order to give back change. In addition to the must-haves, here are some items that aren't exactly necessary but are definitely life changers. So for one, having a portable charger all nice and charged is really great, especially if there are no outlets near the space that I'm vending or if I'm outside. Either way, it's always a good backup to have. A collapsible wagon is also an amazing thing to have on hand because it makes going back and forth to the car so much easier. You could just load in the wagon, go to the car, collapse the wagon, put it underneath the table, and don't have to worry about it until you're ready to take down all the stuff and leave. It's also super helpful having a buddy with you when you're doing vending. I usually bring my husband, but definitely always ask if someone would be able to vend with you for the day. It's always great to have someone back up on the table, especially if you need to use a restroom or if you need to go eat something real quick but you don't want to leave the table unattended. It's always great to have someone there to just kind of like at least be a watchful eye, and they can always tell whoever comes up the table like, oh, she'll be right back or he'll be right back. If you don't have anyone to help vend with you, that's okay. Definitely take the time to befriend all of your vendor neighbors. It's always good to build that community, and you can always be there for them and they can be there for you, kind of like looking out for each other. If you do have someone come help you for the day, definitely let them know that you can pay them for their services for the day, or even at the least buy them lunch. Next, it's always great to have an emergency supplies box on hand. I usually have scissors, tape, band-aids, garbage bags, paper towels, and more just in case. Sometimes if there isn't a garbage bag or a garbage can near my table, I'll usually just bring a garbage bag so that I know I'm keeping my mess to myself and can kind of just, at the end of the day, throw it out at home. You never know when you need scissors or tape. I've had tablecloths kind of flap around in the wind, and taping them down was a real big help. There was a time where I had to bring out the band-aids because someone got cut. It's good to have these things just in case. You never know, but you could always be prepared. And also water. Bring a lot of water, especially if you're outdoors. For outdoor markets, here are a few things that I personally love to bring when I'm out dying in the heat. I love to bring a facial mist spray, especially one that has vitamin C, to kind of keep my face hydrated. I'll just spritz, and then with my portable fan, I'll just fan the moisture into my face. It's definitely a lifesaver, especially when it's really, really hot and summery out. I also like to bring blotting sheets in case I start to get oily in the sun, and sunscreen to reapply, especially if I'm in direct sunlight. I want to make sure that I'm not getting sunburnt at all. And sometimes, depending on the area, mosquito bug wipes, because you never know when mosquitoes are going to be out devouring people. Selling at markets is not only a great way to sell your products, it's an amazing opportunity to connect with local vendors and with the local community. They're also just a lot of fun. You get to know a lot of people, you get to talk with people, and kind of just put yourself out there and show people what you've been working on. If I can leave you with one piece of advice, it'd be to not get discouraged. Just like anything, selling at markets take practice, and the more you do markets, the better and more experience you're going to get. And also just be yourself. People who go to local markets are there to meet the people behind the products. So just be authentic and just be you, and they'll love you all the more. I do plan on making more content about markets, so if you guys have any more questions, just leave a comment down below. Please also like this video, and don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell whenever I upload a video. And until next time, bye friends.